Seems to me, Tarzan, that you had the most to gain by young Convy's death.
I gained by Johnny's death. How?
Well, that's up very simply. You knew the location of the cave, and you were aware he intended turning the map over to me.
Yes?
Having your own secret hideaway not far from the cave, it would be a simple matter for you to steal the gold and keep it hidden until the story of Johnny Convy's death was forgotten.
Now, just a minute, Beaumont.
You figured that when I came for the gold and found none there, I'd assumed that Convy's story was just another of those fables invented by men who've been in the jungle too long. That the comparatively small amount of gold he brought to me was the sum total of his discovery.
If that was my plan, why should I have come to call on you?
Perhaps to cover up your own tracks. You may have already removed the gold from the cave.
I haven't touched the gold, and quite frankly, Beaumont, I suspect that you intend to take Johnny's treasure for yourself instead of for your government.
Now, see here, Tarzan.
You may have already sent someone ahead to get it, and your safari may be nothing but a blind.
I've sent no one ahead.
Well, then, according to our claims, the gold should still be there.
It should be.
I'll make a bargain with you, Beaumont. We'll enter the jungle together. We'll travel all the way to the cave in the same safari. We shall be able to keep an eye on one another.
Agreed. And both of us know that the jungle often reveals the true nature of the man. By the time one of us returns, the truth should be known.
Mais oui, Monsieur Tarzan. I waited on Monsieur Conway. I was most distressed to learn of his death.
How did the hotel happen to tell you of his death? They wouldn't tell me.
I know the manager very well. When I came to the hotel with Monsieur Conway's reservations, the manager confided the terrible news to me. But he wanted it kept quiet, of course. The reputation of the hotel, you see.
Yes, the reputation of the hotel has never been too shining.
You are right. But if other explorers learned that when they emerged from the jungle with their fortune and then stopped at the hotel, naturally
What do you know about Johnny Convy's fortune?
Well, he was a very friendly young man. He spoke about the gold. It was most fascinating.
I dare say.
Everything about the jungle is fascinating to a man who works in a humdrum steamship office. I hope someday I can travel into the jungle.
Suppose I gave you that opportunity.
Comment?
I am to be a member of a safari headed by Mr. Hugh Beaumont that leaves for the jungle in the morning. We should be delighted to have you as our guest.
Oh, well, that should be most exciting. I have a vacation coming soon. I am sure the manager can arrange things so I can leave tomorrow. I would be happy to join you, Monsieur Tarzan.
I'm told, Herr Berger, that Johnny Convy's last night on Earth was spent in your company.
Ja, das ist richtig. We were drinking right here at this very table. You'll have a drink.
No, thank you.
Then I have a drink alone. Bartender! Bartender!
I don't see a bartender on duty.
Where did they not go? I certainly need a drink. First I hear of the violent death of a friend. Then I have a great disappointment in my business.
Oh, what was that?
You wouldn't be interested in my business.
You're a friend of my friend. I am interested.
Well, you see, I am a metallurgist. Not a very successful one. But I learned recently about a very interesting discovery in the jungle. Today I tried to raise money to finance an expedition into the interior. I found out my credit is not good.
Herr Berger, it just so happens that I'm leaving tomorrow with a large safari in the morning. We should be delighted to have you join us.
The next morning, the strange safari started out. Beaumont and his bearers, Herr Berger, who claimed to be a metallurgist, Deladier, who said he quested only for adventure, and Tarzan, each suspecting the other of Johnny Convy's murder, each believing the rest were interested only in the gold. The trail was rough, and the jagged nerves of the travelers even rougher. By the time camp was made on the second night, the men were snarling at each other.
Well, Deladier, you going to help bring the cartons of food over to the cook stove, or do you intend to rest?
Well, can the bearers do it?
They're my bearers, not yours. And you'll do your share of the work around here, or I know the reason why.
Come on, Daladier. We'll carry one of the cartons together. We don't have to stand for the insults of the English Hun.
I'll carry the packages. They weigh little, and I...
Well, what's wrong, Tarzan?
Someone's very carefully drilled a hole into each of the food parcels. They're alive with white ants.
White ants?
All the food spoiled? Is it some of your work, Deladier?
Do I look like a man who would enjoy starving? See what Berger has to say about this. He's been carrying his own food. I suppose your food supply is all right, Herr Berger.
Of course it is all right. I've been carrying it on my own back.
Yes, but why?
Because I can't eat the swill the rest of you seem to enjoy. They've got a sensitive stomach.
But your conscience isn't so sensitive. You'd just as soon see the rest of us starve, so that you can get the gold without interference.
I swear I'm not responsible.
None of us shall starve. I'll hunt for our dinner, but you will all have to get along with each other until I get back.
I'll make them behave themselves to the point of a gun if I have to.
What happened to Burger?
He's been shot.
A little of your discipline, Mr. Beaumont?
Certainly not. But Deladier and Berger started arguing the moment you were out of sight. I got good and sick of it and ordered them out of the camp. They hadn't gone beyond the fringe of the trees over there when I heard a shot.
I see.
Much as I've mistrusted Berger, I don't like to see him dying like this.
Perhaps I can dig out the bullet and we can stop the bleeding. Yeah, Burger, this will be very painful, but I'll try to be as gentle as possible. Then.
Can you see it?
Yes, it's not really embedded very deeply, but it's in a critical place. I can just get hold of it.
Oh, can I help you, Tom?
No, I'm getting it now. I think I can.
You can't help him now, Tarzan.
No, poor fellow. But I did get the bullet out, Beaumont. It's a .32 by a strange coincidence, the same caliber as your pistol.
My pistol hasn't been fired. You can examine it if you like.
What have you done with Deladier?
My men are holding him in that tent over there.
I saw no gun on him.
I admit I couldn't find his gun after the shooting, but he's responsible, all right. He killed Berger, and he undoubtedly killed Johnny Conby, too. Who set that fire? Tarzan, did you find out?
No. By the time I pulled you and Deladier apart, whoever it was had made his escape.
I don't believe it was anyone from outside the camp. I think Deladier here set the fire in order to kill the rest of us.
See here, Beaumont.
I see perfectly. The gold is very tempting, isn't it, Deladier?
You ought to know, Mr. Beaumont.
Tarzan, I demand that you help us tie up Deladier and take him back as a prisoner.
We have no evidence of his guilt on any of those charges. Remember, we suspected poor Herr Berger just yesterday. We didn't even believe he was a scientist.
Well, if he'd shown us the papers we later found in his wallet...
I personally am less suspicious of Deladier than I am of you, Beaumont.
Oh, perhaps you and the Frenchman are in this together. Don't forget Berger was killed during a period when you were out of sight of the camp. Perhaps you were hunting. Perhaps you weren't.
If we're through with our accusations for the night, maybe we can all get some sleep.
Well, we are awake, so we might as well get on. We should reach the cave by dawn.
Well, I'm for pushing on tonight.
All right, perhaps it's time we got this over with. I have a feeling that the sight of our goal will make the murderer reveal his hand.
The safari reached the jagged rocks that protected the cave just as the sudden Congo dawn broke over the jungle. Tarzan watched Beaumont and Deladier carefully, but neither of them dashed forward. Neither revealed the all-consuming mania for gold that leads a man to murder. They walked slowly forward toward the cave's yawning mouth. Together, the three of them entered the damp, inky black cavern. Cautiously, they approached the corner where Johnny Conby had hidden his treasure.
Up to the ground! I don't know who you are, but I'm ready to...
No, don't swallow him anymore. I give him...
All right, come outside while we can see you.
Right.
He's a rough-looking character, all right.
How did he find out about the cave? Who is he?
Why did you fire at us?
I thought you were animals or savages or something. I've been lost in the jungle for days. I just wandered in there by accident.
A likely
Just
story.
a minute, Beaumont. He may be telling the truth.
Why, I'm telling the truth. I didn't touch any of the gold.
Maybe you just got here. Maybe you didn't have time.
You and your continual suspicions, Beaumont. I think the man is telling the truth, and we ought to help him. He got badly scratched up in that skirmish.
Mr. Beaumont has some first aid equipment. If you'll take off your shirt, we'll paint those
Oh,
scratches.
no, I don't want to take off my shirt.
Why? What are you trying to hide?
You can't make me do it. I won't.
I'll do it for you, then.
Gold nugget around his neck.
The one poor Johnny Conby wore.
Oh, no, you don't. You're staying right here, and you're answering a few questions.
I've got my gun trained on him, Tarzan.
You can count on me if he starts any trouble, Monsieur
It
Tarzan.
looks as though Lulu didn't bring you any more luck than it brought Johnny Convey.
I should have left it on him
Who are you? Why did you kill him?
to get the map. I was a bartender at a cafe back in Amdumada. I heard Berger and him talking about the gold one night. I thought I could get here before the rest of you, but you kept getting closer and closer to me.
You were afraid we'd meet and that Berger would recognize you. That's why you killed him, too, huh?
Yes. Go ahead. Kill me.
No. No, we'll take you back to Andamara for punishment. And we'll take Johnny's gold back, too. So that 3 people in America may have the things he'd planned. It's ironic that they have to be purchased at the cost of Johnny Convey's life.
We hope that you've enjoyed our story of Congo Murder and that you'll remain for a preview of our next exciting story of Tarzan. It is a strange world, this isolated village of the Karmiki people. At one side of the Maji is the mission school and a tiny church. At the other, the temple of Miyomoko, the moon god, and the Hema of Miyomoko, its high priest. The constant struggle between the high priest and the Reverend Collier, between paganism and Christianity, flares into dramatic battle in our story of Congo Christmas.
Included in our cast were Jack Moyles, Eddie Firestone, Raymond Lawrence, and Jay Novello. Tarzan, the transcribed creation of the famous Edgar Rice Burroughs, is produced by Walter White, Jr., prepared for radio by Bud Lesser, with original music by Albert Glasser. This is a Commodore production. Listen to our next story, Congo Christmas, another thrilling episode of The Lord of the Jungle.